Becky, I think we're in a corrective phase, and this was another nudge, if you will. President Trump's comments on tariffs, which he said was mostly directed at the Chinese, it was very odd in a sense because China is only the 10th largest exporter to the United States in terms of steel, as an example. So who this really impacts is Canada, the European Union, and now it's a question of who's going to be exempted from the tariffs, and I think we're going to see that over the next few days. But I think we're in a corrective phase, and this was just one more push, if you will, to go through this rotation that we're in right now.
But if we see exemptions to the steel tariffs and the trade issues, does that back things down, or the idea that our biggest trading partner, Canada, is really the ones that we're going to be hitting the worst with this? What does that mean for potential retaliation?
Yes, I think they're going to back this down. I think that they came out with this general broad statement. Then the way these things work, Becky, is that they'll carve out some exemptions, and I expect those to be done in the next few days. The issue is, with these tariffs, for instance, cars and some other things will go up, and then, of course, what no one knows is what somebody might do in retaliation and what they might put a tariff on, since we put a tariff on this. I do not expect, I repeat, do not expect some large global trade war. I just think that there are some adjustments that are going to be made.
So you think we need to be looking at the Italian elections. Why is that? You're right, it's flown beneath the radar.
Italian elections are Sunday. I think they're much more important than the market thinks they are. In America, we're used to looking at parties, but in Europe, what you really have to look at are the coalitions. It appears as if Berlusconi's right-wing coalition, which involves a number of parties, is leading the election. The next most popular party is the Five Star Movement, which is on the left. And then the centrist party, governed by or led by Mr. Renzi, is the third leading candidate. But both of the two leading coalitions are Eurosceptic. They don't like the way they're being governed by Brussels. They want to bring power back to Italy. And I think this is potentially very problematic as the third largest economy in Europe becomes more national and less European, if you will.
So what would you be telling people as we head into this weekend? To beware, to not be long stocks heading into this weekend?
Well, I've told a number of large institutions for quite a period of time that I wouldn't want to own the banks in Europe the way they've behaved with mis-selling bonds. I certainly wouldn't want to own European equities, Italian equities especially, going into what could be a very difficult result for the European Union. So yes, I'm saying be very cautious going into this vote.
How do you feel about U.S. equities?
U.S. equities, I think, are in a corrective phase. I like, which I've said to you before, Becky, the cash flow strategy of half bonds and half closed-end funds yielding over 10%. I'm happy to get the money every month, and that way you can adjust to whatever the market's doing. I think if you're doing nothing but, long tech stocks, as an example, you're having some difficulties right now because we are going through a correction.
When we're going through a correction, we're about 650 points away, at least on the Dow, from being back in correction territory. You just think that this is something that's going to be a lot of turnover, a lot of ups and downs along the way, Mark?
I do, Becky. I think 2017 was a singular kind of year where there were virtually no corrections, and now we're running into a more normal phase where we have corrections as part of the process. In fact, it's normal over the past 20 years that there's a correction every 7 months that's at least 5%. So I don't view this as a time to throw up your hands. I just say we're in a correction and you have to deal with it, and you have to try to have a decent strategy to deal with the markets when they react like this.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.